Now, the 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
On 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it.
We need a good 10-minute drill. We just had some conversations in the break that have brought me down.
You dive into any of that?
It's March Madness, the tip-off of March Madness here. And
Yes.
I've been brought down.
I'm fired up. I don't want to be here tomorrow morning going, yeah, my bracket's busted. Inevitably I do.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to bust it all on the first day. But,
Yeah.
but you can get it busted.
Ask the people at Virginia last year.
Well, that's for sure. And there were a bunch that had them. And there's something else. Look, there's an irony inside of this March Madness when it comes to the Cinderellas. A lot of times the Cinderellas aren't Cinderella at all. I was looking at the stat earlier. There's been a 7 seed or lower advance to the Final Four every year since 2013, 6 years in a row. But the part of it is those 7 seeds and below have been Kentucky and UConn and Syracuse and
South Carolina one.
South Carolina. But my point is that's not Butler. That's not Belmont.
Right.
So, the bottom line is if you're going to make the Final Four outside of being like a top 3 or 4 seed, that typically is going to be, a power team that, for whatever reason, a team like Florida this year that slumped to 10.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I said it. Gators to the Final Four.
Gators are 0-2 all time as a 10 seed. I don't have a good feeling at all.
I was amazed they never played Nevada.
Tonight. Yeah.
In fact, and I'm usually pretty good about this, I would have lost a dime bet that they beat Nevada in one of their tournament runs in these last 20 years. It seems like they have, but no, first meeting ever between the Gators and Nevada.
So we got that going for us, which is nice. Listen, Jeff, Mookie Betts is not ready to jump into the foray of free agency. He's perfectly willing to, or signing a long-term deal. He's perfectly willing to wait his time for free agency.
Okay.
And why not? I mean, here it's a little bit different. If Mookie Betts was only making, $450,000, I would say why turn down an 8-year, $200 million contract, which he did. But he's made 10.5 last year, and he's making 20 this year. So,
it's not much of a raise.
So look, I'll just wait till.
What did you say? 4-year what?
What now?
What was the contract that he turned down?
8 years, $200 million.
Yeah, that's what?
Yeah, they offered him that after 2017.
That's $25 million a year for one of the top 3 or 4 guys of the game right now.
Yeah, so he's
look at us just poo-poo $25 million a year.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I still personally would have a hard time turning down any kind of numbers like that. It is interesting when these guys do that, but Betts, again, if you're making $30 million over 2 years, it's easier to do because you'll have enough. But like he said, I'm under no pressure to do anything. It's okay for us to disagree. It's fine. It's normal. I got 2 more years. I'm going to make the best of them. I have to work on year 1 right here. I just want to help the team win this year and next. It's all right to disagree. So he's handling it fine, but it's interesting because I believe the White Sox, are they the ones who signed one of their guys?
Yes.
There's only like 3 or 4 guys who have signed these type of deals, bigger deals, who have never played in the bigs, and this guy with the White Sox, Jimenez, I believe, is Eloy Jimenez.
Yeah,
is one of them. So
the Trout deal, by the way, is becoming official here in these next 24 hours. And
yes,
get that out $420 million, unbelievable.
Yeah.
James Harden dropped 57 last night in a Rockets loss, believe it or not. Who's going to be the MVP of the NBA? We're down to the stretch now, and and Beef, you could even weigh in here. Is this the most wide open MVP race we've had in a while? Or do you think it's hard? Do you think it's Giannis? Who do you think it is? I mean, in the past we've kind of known, haven't we?
I think. Well, you get an idea. I know
it's not. It's not LeBron. He could be the LVP this year.
Yeah, he's not going to be the MVP. There was some love for Paul George for a while, but they've sort of. I think
at this point, Greek Freak's pulling away now.
Yeah, I think it's Antetokounmpo.
Without a doubt.
I think he had 50-plus last week.
The latest odds, now this is 3 days ago.
Yeah.
The latest odds, Giannis is at -210.
Yeah.
Harden has the next best odds at +140.
Now,
to me, Antetokounmpo is the
okay.
Flavor, if you will, of the day, and that day has stayed throughout the season. I think and Milwaukee's the top seed in the East. So
correct, and he would listen if that's the case. Mike Budenholzer and the great job he did in Atlanta. Mike Budenholzer made a lot of guys a lot of money. He made DeMar Carroll a lot of money. He made Jeff Teague a lot of money. He made Kent Bazemore a lot of money. My point being, when he won like this in Atlanta, won 60 games, was the top seed, he didn't do it with an Antetokounmpo. There was no Hawk ever in the top 5 of the MVP voting. So,
Right.
Look out, buddy. Look out for Milwaukee in the postseason. And no duh, they've been good, but they're not the kind of team
They lost.
that goes to the finals typically.
Brogdon, I think, is
for
out
6 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah. So.
Well, and they also the guy they traded for. Beef used to be on your team. Got
Portis.
Got beat by Portis beat him up. Mirotic. He's also out for
Correct.
2 or 3 weeks. So, and by the way, it showed they lost last night at Cleveland.
Yeah.
No Giannis though. So that shouldn't hurt his MVP candidacy.
Yeah. Lost to Cleveland, did they?
Yeah.
You can't do that.
We're officially to the who cares part of the NBA season with some of these. Who did the Bulls beat last night? Somebody decent, wasn't it? Kings, maybe?
It was a revenge game. Bulls beat the Bobby Portis and the Wizards.
Oh, yeah.
Otto one-upped them.
Otto didn't even play. Didn't need him.
Yeah, the NBA right now is a garbage fire. It is. Now we're to the point where all the positioning is, for the most part, gotten done.
Eat that, Jabari Parker.
Although there was one real antithesis to that type of thought last night. We got some good old-fashioned, old-school 80s hate brewing between the Sixers and the Celtics.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's going to be good for the playoffs. We could very well. It's going to be an interesting postseason. It could shake up that Philly and Boston play in round 1 even. But yeah, those guys don't like each other. They were taking shots at each other in the post game. Terry Rozier said, "Yeah, man, I thought they were going to put confetti down after the win." Boston's 3-1 against them. I don't trust Philly. They seem like they're just a little too full of themselves for me.
That's interesting, man.
From what they've actually accomplished.
Yeah.
Which is, by the way, nothing.
All right, well, March Madness gets underway today, Jeff Prosser, and the overwhelming favorite, Vegas-wise, in everybody's bracket, is Duke. Most people have said if you get Duke or the field, they would take the field.
I would, too. And by the way, my confidence in Duke, and this always happens when you pick it, is wavering as we move along here.
Yeah.
Duke has some issues that go really against. They're 122nd in turnovers. That's bad. No team has won the title like plus 100.
Is Duke any good? They can't shoot threes. They turn the ball over. They're a terrible free throw shooting team. My gosh. They may lose this first game.
Yeah.
But it's amazing all these stats that people keep coming up with as they look to punch holes in the Duke resume.
Well, it's our last topic here. I'm going to go back to the Super Bowl, and I'm not going to talk about the great game, and I'm not going to talk about the Tom Brady winning another. I'm going to talk about what apparently America most remembers from the Super Bowl, and now we're getting some specifics. I'm going to talk about Nipplegate. I did not know, honest to God, that you could have Nipplegate involving a man. It's always been my impression that men can walk.
People were hot, Jeff.
It's always been my impression that men can walk around shirtless. What am I missing?
Who?
Adam Levine, when he took off his shirt during his performance.
Yeah, why?
He had both of them out, Jeff.
Did something happen?
FCC has fielded 94 pages of complaints. 55 of those pages had to do with the halftime show and Adam Levine removing his shirt. Is there any comparison, Dan?
Oh, dear.
Is there any way that you could call this a, quote, double standard
Oh, boy.
between Janet Jackson and Adam Levine? Because that's what society is now going to try and tell you, that a man's nipples and a woman's nipples are the same.
Now,
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
If I take off my shirt with the man boobs that I have, that could be interpreted a little bit differently. But no,
that's another story.
Adam Levine seems to be in excellent shape. So
he's a good shape. He's all tatted up.
Here you go. Again, the wussification of America, the idiocracy is just, it's past bloom. We're settling the cabinet for the idiocracy. The idiocracy is here. Just pray that we can make it through before it is a dictatorship. Many wrote in about the halftime show, taking issue with the nipples.
Oh, boy.
And questioning the impact on children watching the game.
Nipgate.
One complainant called it, quote, morally reprehensible.
Oh, stop.
Have we been to the beach, gang?
Oh, dear.
What?
We're okay.
Are we going to get to an Olympic Games where the men have to wear a unitard like the women?
Yes.
What are we doing?
Let's do that.
Hard to know what to do, Dan. I'm all twisted up.
I'm confused now, and I don't understand.
Here's one of the examples of the letters. I'm offended and troubled by the actions taken during the Super Bowl halftime show. I am stunned that I was forced to see a topless man.
Oh,
a
dear.
topless man.
Oh, boy.
I give up.
Oh, no.
I give up, Beef. The idiocracy, it's here.
By the way, the Mariners and the A's are battling in Game 2 of the Tokyo series, and Ichiro will retire after this game now. It is breaking here today, which would be perfect for Ichiro. I mean, it's I guess he wasn't expected to be playing, and he got to play.
Well, and he showed why. I mean, he can barely touch the ball. It's an absolute joke that a 45-year-old
Not true, Jeff. It's legitimate.
Just to play to the home. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a real
Seattle
baseball.
wants to sacrifice 2 or 3 at bats and minimize the season for what it is. That's their prerogative.
They're leading 3-2.
I know they are,
They could
but-
be 2-0.
Yeah, I know, but it has nothing to do with Ichiro, who can't
Might
get the ball
keep
out of
him
the
around.
infield. Literally.
Former Met great Jay Bruce off to a slow start, 0-3, now hitting 143 on the season.
With the A's?
No, with Seattle.
Oh, that's too bad. Oh, is he part of the deal?
Yes.
Scotty
Dunno.
Service holding them back.
Yeah. Well, I know this. Again, I'm gonna plead with Major League Baseball to leave Seattle and Oakland in Japan until June. I don't think anyone will notice.
Especially Oakland.
Oakland should and has been better than Seattle.
I know.
But they're off to a tough start here. That's going to do it for the 10-minute drill.
Hit it!
Need a number, Danny.
Let's do caller number 4. What are we giving away today,
We're
Pete?
hooking them up before they watch the March Madness. They can swing on through 1010XL, pick up their gift card. They're going to get lunch for 2 at Chick-fil-A, then go get their car scrubbed up just right with a gift card from Zips Express Car Wash.
Perfect.